this example, I want to solve two examples of how to solve absolute value equations. For some of you guys, it might be a new subject, and for some of you guys, it would be just a review. Okay, the first example is gonna be absolute value of 2x plus 3 is equal, let's go for 11. We want to find the value for x. So the prompt of the problem would be solve for x. That's a typical problem that you guys would have during your test, exam, or any small quizzes. Okay, the very first thing that you have to do, I write it here as the first step, you have to make sure that the absolute value is all by itself. So I'm going to write it ABS, stand for absolute value, is all by itself. By the way, I'm going to write the comments here. I would put the number next to it as which represent the steps that you have to take to solve a typical absolute value equation. So feel free to put it on your cheat sheet. Your cheat sheet could be in form of the inspiration, or you can just use a hard copy. Write it down somewhere and print it and use it as a hard copy. Okay, so very first step, you have to make sure that the absolute value function is all by itself. Look at this example. This is the absolute value function right here. It's all by itself, right? Nothing outside of the absolute value exists. It's right there in the left side of the equation. It means we are good to go. Okay, so you check this, you make sure that absolute value function is all by itself. Next step would be, step two. Step two would be make two arrows. So in order to get rid of the absolute value, you have to make two beautiful arrows. One here, another here. So it's a very first thing. Anytime you see an absolute value, make sure that it's all by itself. If it is, make two arrows which give you this eligibility to get rid of that two bars. Look at this, it's like a jail. It seems like this equation exists in a jail. In order to this guy reach the freedom, we have to make two beautiful arrows here. So what these arrows do is going to be, we can write the equation again, 2x plus 3 once with the equal to the positive value of 11, and once we write the same thing, exact same thing, with the negative value of 11. Check it out, just compare this guy inside the absolute value would be free from the jail. Apparently, as you can see, we get rid of these bars in these two equations, and once we write it equal to 11, once we write it equal to minus 11. Okay, so in order to get rid of absolute value, I'm repeating this because it's a highlight of the solving an absolute value equation. It's really important. In order to get rid of the absolute value, you have to make two arrows, and you rewrite the equation once with positive 11 and another time with the negative 11. Okay, now we're just going to solve the equation. This is a simple two-steps equation. We work on two-steps equation previous quarter, so you guys should be able to just consider this as a review now. So the goal is finding x by itself in this equation. So first I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. When I subtract 3 from both sides in order to There you go. Here I would end up having just 2x in the left side. Let's do this. So we know that these two cancel each other out. Really quick. Put this. I'm gonna do this. There you go. I'm just gonna put this guy slightly. Maybe like this is better. Just make sure. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Okay. I subtract 3 from both sides in order to find the x by itself. 11 minus 3. You can use a calculator. You open your calculator and simply you're going to write what we have here is 11 minus 3. 11 minus 3 is going to be 8. So 2x is equal 8. Now, have we find x by itself? Not yet. We have 2x. We are looking for x. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide both sides by 2. Boom, boom. Let's divide both sides by 2. Awesome. Now, simply, we know that 2 and 2 cancel each other out. 8 divided by 2. Again, we use a calculator. 8 divided by 2. Done. 4. So we can write it like that. X is equal to 4. Good. So one of the answer for the absolute value is 4. Again, we have to solve this equation now to find the second answer for the absolute value. Just remember, absolute value, most of the time it has 2 answers. You can find 1 answer sometimes, but majority of the time, if it's not 0, you would reach to 2 answers. Okay, let's see. Here, the goal is find the x by itself. I'm going to use another color. The goal is finding this guy by itself. The first question you should ask yourself, what does it bother you around, what numbers are bothering you around x? One of them is 2, one of them is 3. You always start with adding or subtracting. In this case, you're going to subtract 3 from both sides because this 3 is really annoying. There you go. Let's see. 3 and 3 is pretty obvious that they cancel each other out. So in the left side of the equation, all you have is just 2x. And after that, you have this beautiful, oops, what happened? Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. You have this beautiful equal sign. Now you have to evaluate it. What is minus 11 minus 3 is? Let's do it. We're going to write minus 11 minus 3. Boom, minus 14. So, have we find x? Not yet. So we have to divide both sides by 2. Maybe some of you guys ask why we have to do division? Because between 2 and x, the sign is multiplication. We have 2x. It means 2 times x. 2 multiplied by x. In order to get rid of 2 and find the x by itself, you have to do the opposite action of multiplication, which is, good job, division. Yes. You divide both sides by 2, and let's see, these 2 and these 2 cancel each other out, and minus 14 divided by 2. Again, you're going to use your best friend, a calculator. Minus 14 divided by 2, done, minus 7. So x is equal, let's do this, x is equal minus 7. Done. See, we find 2 values for x. One 4 and one minus 7. Okay, so as a third step, I'm just going to write. So the third step would be solve the solve the equation. Reach to two equation, and simply just gonna solve the equations. Done. Okay, next video is gonna be another example for absolute value function. You guys are doing all of you guys are doing a great job. Thank you for all your hard work. Make sure that you understand this video completely, and after that move to the next video.